The blackness of space stretched endlessly, silent and cold, broken only by distant stars flickering like tiny flames. In the midst of this vast emptiness, the Earth's newest warship, USS Vanguard, drifted with quiet authority. Its hull gleamed under the light of a nearby star, a human creation so advanced it could make entire alien fleets reconsider their existence. Inside, the crew moved with a mix of tension and awe. This was not just another mission. This was history. Humanity had finally stepped into the wider galaxy, and no one knew what waited ahead. Captain Alara Voss stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the vast void on the main viewing screen. She was calm, but her fingers tapped rhythmically on the console, betraying the storm inside. "Report," she said, her voice steady, carrying the weight of command. "Coordinates locked, Captain," replied Lieutenant Eric Dane, his voice clipped and professional. "We are on course to Sector Theta 9. No signs of hostile activity detected yet." Ilara nodded but didn't relax. She had learned the hard way that in space, absence of danger did not mean safety. The galaxy was enormous, full of civilizations that had watched Earth from the shadows for centuries. And now, the humans had arrived with a warship capable of challenging them. The bridge lights dimmed as the Vanguard's engines hummed, a deep, powerful vibration that resonated through the metal floor. The crew worked in silence, each person lost in their thoughts. For some, this was the dream they had trained for all their lives. For others, a terrifying reality they were not sure they could handle. Suddenly, the calm shattered. The warning sirens blared, red lights flashing across the bridge. The sensors had picked up something, a ship, or maybe more than one, moving at impossible speeds. "Unknown vessels, approaching fast," Eric shouted, his hands moving over the console. "They're not using any known human propulsion systems." Ilara's heart raced, but she stayed focused. "Open a channel. Let's see who we're dealing with before they make their decision for us." Static filled the air, then a voice came through, alien and melodic, but cold as ice. "Humans," it said, every word sharp like a knife. "You have no place here. Turn back, or face annihilation." The bridge went silent. Crew members exchanged nervous glances. This was no ordinary alien race. This voice carried authority, power, and a warning that left no room for negotiation. Ilara's jaw tightened. She had expected resistance, perhaps even fear, but she would not let humanity be intimidated. "Status on weapons?" she asked, her tone calm but firm. "All systems ready, Captain," said Chief Engineer Roland Cade. "Shields at full, weapons online. We can defend ourselves, but—" He hesitated, looking at the approaching fleet. "Their numbers are massive." Ilara walked to the center of the bridge, her eyes fixed on the view screen. The alien fleet shimmered as it approached, sleek ships larger than anything Earth had ever built. Their formation was precise, almost beautiful, but every movement screamed threat. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers," she commanded. "But do not fire unless absolutely necessary. We are not the aggressors here, but we will survive." As the alien ships closed in, the Vanguard's advanced sensors picked up something alarming. Energy readings from the lead ship were off the charts. Whatever weapon it carried, it could obliterate entire worlds. The realization hit the crew like a cold wave. Humanity had just entered a game where the rules were unknown, and the stakes were survival itself. The lead alien ship stopped suddenly, its presence dominating the space around the Vanguard. A small, hovering probe emerged and sent a pulse of light toward the human ship. It scanned the Vanguard, and in that moment, every crew member felt a shiver of recognition. This was no ordinary encounter. They were being tested, measured, judged. Ilara's mind raced. She understood that retreat was not an option. If humans showed weakness now, the galaxy would see them as prey. But if they acted recklessly, they might die before Earth even learned what had attacked them. "Activate the starburst engine," she ordered. "We're going to show them what humanity can do." The Vanguard shuddered as the engine roared to life, light bending around the hull as the ship accelerated faster than thought possible. Stars stretched into lines of fire outside the viewports. The alien fleet reacted instantly, forming a blockade, but the humans slipped through a narrow gap with precision that no one expected. The crew erupted in shouts and laughter, relief and exhilaration mixing together. But Elara did not smile. She knew this was just the beginning. They had survived the first test, but the galaxy was vast, and every star might hide enemies far more deadly than this. In the distance, the alien voice echoed in their minds again, this time calmer, almost curious. Humans, bold, but fragile. We will see how long your courage lasts. Elara clenched her fists. Then let them watch, she whispered. Let them see humanity rise. The vanguard disappeared into the darkness of space, a single shining symbol of Earth's might, leaving behind whispers of fear, awe, and curiosity in a galaxy that had never imagined humans as a force to reckon with. And in that darkness, the first thread of war began to weave itself across the stars. Humanity had arrived. And nothing would ever be the same again. The vanguard glided through the void, its hull still shimmering with the light of the distant star it had just left behind. Captain Elara Voss stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the dark expanse ahead. The alien voice still lingered in her mind, like a ghost whispering warnings, but she refused to let fear rule her. Humanity was not here to hide. Humanity was here to survive, and to fight if needed. Lieutenant Eric Dane tapped his console nervously. Captain, sensors are picking up unusual energy readings ahead. It's not from a ship, but something else. Elara frowned. Something else? Explain. Roland Cade, the chief engineer, leaned over the console. It looks like a massive energy signature, almost like a storm of power, but concentrated. The readings are fluctuating, unpredictable. I've never seen anything like it. The bridge crew exchanged uneasy glances. Space was already dangerous, but what they were facing now was unknown, untested, and possibly unstoppable. Plot a course around it, Elara ordered. We don't need more surprises than we can handle. As the vanguard maneuvered cautiously, the energy storm ahead shifted. Sparks of light danced across the darkness, forming shapes that made some crew members instinctively step back. It was as if the storm was alive, aware of their presence. Suddenly, a deep tremor shook the ship. Alarms blared, and lights flickered. Hull integrity dropping, shouted Cade. The energy storm, it's affecting our systems. Elara gritted her teeth. Stabilize shields. Divert all power to engines. I don't care how you do it, just keep us alive. The ship lurched violently as waves of energy slammed against the hull. Crew members were thrown off their feet, and consoles sparked with electrical discharges. The bridge filled with the sound of clashing alarms and shouted commands. Then, silence. The storm had stopped, leaving the vanguard floating in a calm, dark expanse. For a moment, the crew simply stared, catching their breath. Then the sensors detected something horrifying. Captain, multiple vessels emerging from the storm. Eric said, his voice tight. Alien ships, more than before, at least a dozen, and they're different. Bigger. Deadlier. Elara stepped forward, her mind racing. Status on weapons? All ready, Captain, Cade replied. But these ships, their energy signatures are unlike anything we've faced. Their weapons could tear us apart. Elara clenched her fists. She could feel the weight of the decision pressing down. Attack and risk annihilation, or attempt diplomacy and hope for mercy from beings who might not understand humanity's will. Open communications, she said. Let's try talking first. Make them know we mean no harm, yet we won't back down either. Static filled the bridge before a voice emerged, low and metallic, like grinding steel. Humans, foolish. You dare enter the storm of the ancients? You seek power you cannot wield. Leave, or be crushed. The crew shivered. The ancients. Elara had heard legends, ancient civilizations who ruled galaxies long before humans even dreamed of space travel. If this warning was true, humanity was not just facing enemies, they were entering a legacy of power far beyond Earth's understanding. "Prepare evasive maneuvers," she ordered, her voice steady but urgent. "We're leaving the storm, but we're not running blindly." The Vanguard weaved through the alien vessels, narrowly dodging beams of energy that could have disintegrated their ship instantly. The aliens moved with deadly precision, anticipating their every move, yet the humans responded with tactics born from intuition, skill, and sheer courage. "Captain," Eric called, "they're adapting. Every maneuver we make, they counter it immediately. If this continues, we won't last long." Ilara's eyes hardened. "Then we make them underestimate us. Prepare the experimental pulse cannon. We're going to give them a surprise they won't forget." Cade nodded, his fingers flying over the controls. The pulse cannon hummed to life, a low vibration that made the entire ship tremble. It was a weapon unlike any other, capable of sending a shockwave that could disable multiple enemy ships at once. But it was risky. One misfire, and the Vanguard could be destroyed. Ilara gave the order. The cannon fired, sending a blinding wave of energy through the swarm of alien ships. There was silence, then chaos. Several enemy vessels erupted in flashes of light, while others spun out of control, unable to withstand the force. The crew cheered, but the victory was short-lived. From the remnants of the swarm, a massive ship emerged, larger than any human mind could comprehend. Its hull seemed to absorb light, its presence oppressive and terrifying. "Captain, that's the flagship," Eric whispered. "We can't defeat it head-on." Ilara's gaze hardened. "Then we do what humans do best. We survive. We fight smart. We adapt." The Vanguard turned, heading toward a narrow asteroid belt. The massive flagship followed, its shadow looming over the smaller human ship. But the crew was ready. They knew this was only the beginning, a test of their courage, skill, and unity. Humanity had entered a galaxy filled with ancient power, and the next few moments would decide if they were prey or predators. As the asteroid field drew closer, the alien flagship paused, scanning, calculating, almost as if it were waiting for something. Ilara knew then that the galaxy had noticed humans, and it would never forget. And in that realization, the crew understood something deeper. Humanity was not just fighting for survival. They were fighting to claim their place among the stars. The Vanguard moved carefully through the asteroid field, twisting and turning between jagged rocks that glinted like knives under distant starlight. Captain Ilara Voss stood at the bridge, eyes scanning every sensor, every shadow. The flagship of the ancients followed, massive and silent, like a predator hunting prey. The crew felt the tension in the air, but Ilara did not waver. Humans survived because they adapted, and adaptation required courage. "Captain," Lieutenant Eric Dane said, pointing at the screen, "the flagship is changing course. It's moving to block our exit. Whatever we do, we can't outrun it." Ilara's jaw tightened. "Then we force it to make the first mistake." "Cade, how stable is the pulse cannon?" Roland Cade's fingers danced over the console. "Stable enough to make a hit, but one shot at the flagship and the recoil could throw us off course. If we misfire, we're dead." Ilara nodded, her mind racing. Humanity had faced impossible odds before, but never like this. The Ancients' fleet was not just stronger, they were smarter, faster, and far older than humans could imagine. And yet, fear was useless. "Set a trap in the asteroid belt," she ordered. "We'll use the rocks, the terrain, everything we can. We'll make them think they control the fight, and then we hit them where it hurts." The crew moved quickly, working in unison. Shields were adjusted to bounce energy off the largest asteroids. Engines roared as the Vanguard darted in patterns designed to confuse the massive flagship. The pulse cannon hummed, ready for the perfect moment. Outside, the flagship mirrored their movements, its massive hull glinting faintly. The ship seemed alive, intelligent, calculating each human maneuver as if it could read their thoughts. The crew held their breath. Every second felt like hours. Then, a warning flashed. Sensors detected a cloaked vessel emerging from the far side of the asteroid field. Another surprise, another layer of danger. "Captain," Eric shouted. "Another ship. And it's larger than any we've seen." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "So they weren't just testing us, they're baiting us. They want to see how far we'll go." Her mind raced. The ancients were not merely attacking, they were learning. Every move humans made was being studied, judged. And yet, Ilara felt something else too. Opportunity. Humans thrived in chaos. They could turn the unexpected into advantage. "Prepare the pulse cannon," she said calmly. "But wait for my signal. Let's use this cloaked ship against them." The crew worked in tense silence. Every second the alien ships were near, the closer they came to discovery, and the closer humans came to seizing the moment. Finally, Ilara gave the command. The pulse cannon fired, sending a wave of energy that ricocheted off the asteroids and slammed directly into the cloaked vessel. The ship erupted in a blinding explosion, sending debris flying. The flagship hesitated, its massive hull recoiling as if in pain. "Now!" Ilara shouted. "All engines forward. Target their weapons systems." The Vanguard darted toward the flagship, weaving between asteroids as the pulse cannon fired again. Energy beams struck the alien ship's turrets, disabling several in a single strike. The flagship groaned, its shields flickering, revealing glimpses of metal beneath that glimmered like silver. The crew cheered, but Ilara's face remained serious. "Don't celebrate yet. We've damaged them, but we haven't won. They will fight back, harder than ever." Her prediction came true immediately. The flagship launched counterattacks that tested every human reflex. Energy beams tore through the asteroid field, forcing the Vanguard into dangerous maneuvers. One misstep, one miscalculation, and they would be torn apart. "Cade, we need more power to shields," Eric shouted, gripping his console. "Diverting power from engines, now." Cade replied. Sparks flew as the ship strained under the energy load. The bridge shook violently as the flagship's main weapon fired. The beam missed narrowly, slicing an asteroid in half and sending fragments careening toward the Vanguard. Crew members scrambled to avoid impact, their hearts racing. Ilara's mind raced, thinking of every human strategy ever learned, every instinct honed through millennia. She remembered a lesson from Earth's past: when outnumbered and outgunned, humans relied on unpredictability. "Full reverse, sharp turn, then cut engines," she ordered. The Vanguard spun in a tight arc, dodging the debris, while the flagship overshot, crashing into a cluster of asteroids. The massive ship groaned and shuddered, a momentary weakness appearing in its otherwise invincible armor. "Fire the pulse cannon. Direct hit on the flagship's hull," Ilara commanded. Energy exploded from the cannon, striking the massive vessel with perfect precision. Flames and sparks erupted, and the flagship trembled violently, losing control for the first time. The Ancient's intelligence could not immediately recover, and the Vanguard slipped away into the shadows of the asteroid belt. The crew erupted in cheers, but Ilara remained at her station. "This isn't victory. It's a warning. They know we exist. And now, they will hunt us." Her eyes met each crew member's. "We survived this day. We proved humans are not weak. But the galaxy has just begun to see what Earth can do." And as the Vanguard disappeared deeper into the darkness, the stars seemed to whisper a warning. Humanity had entered a war far greater than any battle fought on Earth. Yet, for the first time, humans were not afraid. They were ready. The Vanguard drifted through the silent void beyond the asteroid field, its hull scarred but intact. Captain Ilara Voss leaned on the command console, her mind racing. They had survived the flagship attack, but the battle had revealed something unsettling. The galaxy was not only vast, it was watching. And it had noticed humans. Lieutenant Eric Dane broke the silence. "Captain, I've detected signals from a nearby system. Not just any signals, these are military in origin. Possibly human, but encrypted. They're sending a message to us. It's urgent." Ilara frowned. "Bring it up." The communications officer activated the transmission. A holographic figure flickered to life on the bridge, a man, older, wearing the insignia of Earth's secretive Outer Colonies Command. His face was tense, eyes darting nervously. "Ilara Voss," he began, voice low and urgent. "This is Admiral Kane. You're not alone out there. There are factions within humanity itself that want to control the Vanguard. They'll stop at nothing, even if it means sacrificing you and your crew." A chill ran down the bridge. Mutters rippled through the crew. Betrayal? Humans? Ilara's eyes narrowed. "Explain," she demanded, her voice sharp. Kane's hologram flickered, as if the transmission were unstable. "The Vanguard carries technology. Technology that could change the balance of power across the galaxy. Some on Earth fear it will fall into the wrong hands, ours. They've been tracking your every move. If you don't follow certain protocols, you'll be considered rogue. And rogue ships are destroyed without hesitation." Ilara's heart pounded. "So we're being hunted by humans?" "Not yet," Kane said. "But soon. You need to evade detection. Trust no one. Your crew. They may be your only allies." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in tense silence. Ilara's mind spun. Humanity had always fought for survival, for dominance. But she had never imagined a fight like this, a battle within her own species, while also facing ancient alien powers. "Captain," Eric whispered. "What do we do?" Ilara straightened, her voice steady. "We continue our mission. We survive. We fight the galaxy. And we fight the shadows of our own people if we must. Humanity doesn't surrender. Not ever." Suddenly, alarms blared across the ship. Sensors detected multiple small vessels emerging from the dark edge of a nearby star system. They moved with speed and precision, human speed. "Boarding ships," Cade said, dread in his voice. "They're trying to intercept us." Ilara clenched her fists. "Prepare defenses. Shields up. Weapons ready. If they want to fight, they'll get one, but on our terms." The first boarding ship struck, latching onto the Vanguard's hull with magnetic claws. Crew members rushed to repel the intruders, but what stepped onto the ship was shocking. Instead of soldiers, it was a team of humans, engineers, scientists, armed and determined. "Stop!" Ilara shouted. "We are allies, or we are humans at war. Which is it?" The leader of the intruders stepped forward, helmet in hand. We follow orders from Earth's High Command. You've gone too far. You've interfered with systems you were not cleared to touch. Surrender the Vanguard, or we will destroy you." The bridge erupted in confusion. Crew members shouted. Eric looked at Ilara, eyes wide. "They're willing to fight us, over control?" Ilara's mind raced. She realized that their survival depended not only on skill and courage but on trust, or the lack of it. Humanity had always been united against alien threats, but now, internal division threatened everything they had fought for. "Crew," she said, her voice calm but commanding, "we've faced impossible odds before, and we've survived. We will not surrender. Prepare countermeasures. And trust each other more than anyone else. Humanity may betray us, but we protect each other." The Vanguard shook as the boarding teams tried to breach further, but the humans aboard resisted fiercely, using ingenuity and tactics honed from countless Earth battles. Pulse cannons flared, energy shields sparked, and the ship's internal corridors became a battlefield of wits, reflexes, and courage. During the fight, Ilara discovered something startling. One of the intruders, a young officer, hesitated at a doorway, eyes full of fear and doubt. She realized then that not every human was her enemy. Some still believed in the honor and survival of their crew above politics and orders. Ilara grabbed a communicator. "To the ones who hesitate, join us. Help humanity survive. Not politics. Not power. Just survival." For a moment, silence. Then, slowly, a few of the intruders turned, aiding the Vanguard crew, redirecting energy to shields, helping push back the others. The battle ended not with complete victory, but with uneasy truce. Elara knew the fight was far from over. Humans could be both the greatest allies and the deadliest enemies. As the vanguard left the star system, scarred and battered, Elara stood on the bridge, staring into the endless void. We've survived the ancients, the storm, and now, ourselves. Humanity is complicated, dangerous, but we are not weak, and we will rise. Outside, the stars twinkled coldly, distant and beautiful, but now carrying whispers of betrayal, war, and a galaxy that had never seen humans like this before. And somewhere in the darkness, the shadow of High Command moved, watching, waiting, calculating. The war for the galaxy, and for humanity itself, had truly begun. The vanguard drifted through the silent void, scarred from recent battles, both alien and human. Captain Elara Voss stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the star-strewn horizon. The stars were calm, almost peaceful, but she knew better. In space, calm always hid danger. Lieutenant Eric Dane tapped his console nervously. "Captain, I'm picking up movement near the outer hull. Something, or someone." Elara frowned. "Explain." Roland Cade, the chief engineer, shook his head. "Not ships. Internal interference. Someone inside the ship is manipulating systems remotely. Shields, engines, even the pulse cannon. It's subtle, but deliberate." A cold shiver ran down Elara's spine. First, the ancients. Then humans trying to take control. Now, sabotage from within. She realized that survival would require more than skill. It would demand vigilance and trust in the right people. "Alert all departments," she ordered. "Lock all sensitive systems. No one moves without authorization. We find the traitor before they can do serious damage." The crew scrambled, working with urgency. The Vanguard's AI ran diagnostics, tracing signals and access logs. The intruder was clever, but cleverness could not outmatch human determination. Suddenly, alarms blared. The sensors had detected multiple alien ships emerging from a nearby nebula. Their shapes were unfamiliar, sleek, and deadly. They moved as one, coordinated and fast. "Captain," Eric said, voice tight. "The ancients? No, these are new. Unknown species. And they're aggressive." Elara's eyes narrowed. "Weapons ready. Shields at maximum. Prepare evasive maneuvers." The Vanguard twisted and turned through the nebula, energy beams slicing the mist around them. The alien ships fired in unison, but the humans were ready. The pulse cannon hummed, shields flared, and the Vanguard responded with tactics that combined precision and intuition. Even as they fought the aliens outside, Elara could not ignore the threat within. Every system flicker, every unexpected error could be sabotage. Her mind raced. If the traitor struck at the wrong moment, the ship would be destroyed. "Captain," Cade shouted, "the sabotage is in the main reactor. Someone is trying to overload it. If it goes, we'll be vaporized instantly." Elara's hands flew across the console. "Divert all non-essential power. Contain the reactor. Seal off affected sections. Find the saboteur now." Meanwhile, the aliens pressed the attack. Their energy beams carved through space, forcing the Vanguard into near-impossible maneuvers. Crew members worked together flawlessly, but tension gripped the bridge. The dual threats, alien warships outside, betrayal inside, pushed everyone to the edge. A sudden insight hit Elara. The saboteur must be connected to the humans who had tried to seize the Vanguard earlier. Only someone with knowledge of the ship systems could manipulate them so precisely. "Eric, run a full personnel scan. Cross-reference with the boarding intruders from High Command," she ordered. Moments later, the AI responded. "Captain, match found. Engineer Lieutenant Drake. He has unauthorized access and has been rerouting power surreptitiously." Elara's eyes narrowed. "Contain him. Don't alert him yet. We need to see his next move." Outside, the alien ships fired another barrage. The Vanguard shuddered under the force. Ilara saw the perfect moment. Using the reactor diversion, she rerouted energy to create a trap. "Prepare the pulse cannon," she shouted. "Target the central cluster of alien ships. Follow my mark." The crew worked with silent precision, channeling energy through the ship's systems. Then, with a roar, the pulse cannon fired, sending a wave of force through the nebula. The alien fleet faltered, shields disrupted, and several ships exploded in brilliant flashes of light. Inside, Drake realized the humans had outsmarted him. He attempted to escape, but security teams intercepted him in the engine room. Cornered, he hesitated, eyes wide with fear and disbelief. You can't stop me," he shouted. Ilara stepped forward, calm and commanding. "We already have. Humanity survives because we fight together, not alone. You betrayed us. And betrayal is always punished." Drake was restrained, his sabotage neutralized, and the reactor stabilized. The crew exhaled collectively, relief washing over them, but Ilara knew better than to relax. This was only the beginning. "Damage report," she demanded. "Minor hull breaches, some systems affected by sabotage, and energy reserves slightly depleted, but nothing that could not be repaired." The Vanguard was battered, yes, but alive. And more importantly, the crew had proven their unity and courage under pressure. Ilara stood at the bridge, looking out at the stars. "We've survived the ancients, internal betrayal, and now a new alien threat. The galaxy is testing us, pushing us to see how far humans can go. But we've shown them. We are clever, we are courageous, and we are not weak." The stars beyond the viewport shimmered with light, mysterious and infinite. Somewhere in that darkness, enemies plotted, dangers waited, and challenges lurked. Yet, humanity had risen once more, undaunted, united, and unstoppable. And Ilara knew one truth above all: the galaxy would never forget the humans who refused to bow, the humans who fought together against all odds. The war had only begun, and the Vanguard would lead the charge. The Vanguard floated in the cold darkness beyond the nebula, its hull scarred from countless battles. Captain Ilara Voss stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the stars. Every glimmer of light could hide a threat, every shadow could conceal an enemy. Humanity had survived so far, but she knew the galaxy would not make it easy. Lieutenant Eric Dane's voice cut through the tense silence. "Captain, sensors are detecting massive energy fluctuations in the Omega sector. It's unlike anything we've seen, shields, weapons, engines, all being drained in unison." Ilara frowned. "Explain." Chief Engineer Roland Cade shook his head, worry etched on his face. "It's a siphoning field, some kind of energy leech. It can drain our systems completely if we stay in range. I don't know who or what is generating it, but it's huge, bigger than any fleet we've faced." Ilara's heart quickened. So it's not just the ancients, not just rogue humans, now something new. And it's powerful. The Vanguard's shields flickered under the invisible drain. Engines lost power in stuttered pulses. The crew worked frantically to maintain control, diverting energy where they could, but the ship groaned under the strain. "Captain," Eric said, pointing to the view screen, "we're being tracked. A fleet, or maybe a single colossal ship, moving faster than anything known. They're surrounding us." Ilara's jaw tightened. "Status on weapons?" "Partial, but the siphon is limiting output. Full power could destroy the ship if we fire blindly," Cade replied. Ilara's mind raced. Humanity had faced enemies before, but none like this, an unseen, overwhelming force capable of draining their very strength. Survival required cunning, not just firepower. "Set course for the nearby star cluster," she ordered. "We'll use the gravity wells to mask our energy signature. Make them think we're weaker than we are." The Vanguard maneuvered carefully, weaving through the dense cluster of stars. The alien ship, or ships, pursued relentlessly, its movements precise, almost intelligent. Every attempt to outmaneuver it was anticipated, every escape route blocked. "Captain, they're adapting to our tactics," Eric warned. "It's like they know what we'll do before we do it." Ilara's eyes narrowed. Then we give them something they won't expect. Prepare a decoy pulse. Make it appear we're diverting energy, but keep the real reserves hidden. The crew worked with silent precision, executing the plan flawlessly. Outside, the decoy flared, a false signature of energy bleeding from the vanguard. The massive enemy ship altered course, drawn to the apparent weakness. Now! Ilara shouted. The pulse cannon fired at precise timing, striking the enemy ship as it approached the decoy. Explosions rippled through its hull, revealing armor beneath that shimmered like black glass. The alien vessel shuddered but did not fall. "They're stronger than we thought," Cade muttered. Ilara's gaze hardened. "Then we do what humans do best. We adapt, we endure, and we strike where they least expect it." Suddenly, an alert flashed on the main console. "Captain, incoming transmission," Eric said. Ilara gestured to open it. A holographic figure appeared, alien, tall, sleek, with eyes that glimmered like liquid metal. Its voice was chillingly calm. "Humans," it said, "you are clever but foolish. You survive only because you underestimate the Ancients' allies. Your courage will not save you. We do not need to destroy you, yet. We will test you. Your survival depends on choices you cannot see." The transmission ended, leaving a deep unease across the bridge. The crew exchanged glances. This was no ordinary enemy. They were strategists, manipulators, masters of psychological warfare. "Captain," Eric whispered. "What do we do?" Ilara clenched her fists. "We survive. That's all. We live to fight another day. Humanity doesn't surrender, not to alien fleets, not to impossible odds, and not to fear. We find the advantage. We fight smart. And we endure." As the vanguard powered through the star cluster, the siphoning field weakened but did not vanish. Every crew member worked tirelessly, knowing one mistake could mean destruction. And yet, despite exhaustion, despite fear, despite the unseen enemy, humanity's resolve held. For the first time, the crew glimpsed what made humans different. Courage tempered by cleverness, survival driven by unity, and a refusal to bow to threats, however overwhelming. Ilara stared into the darkness, eyes reflecting distant starlight. Somewhere in the void, the enemy watched, learned, and adapted. Yet the humans had survived, not by strength alone, but by spirit. And she knew one truth above all: the galaxy had underestimated humanity before, but it would never do so again. The vanguard surged forward, battered but unbroken, leaving behind a warning in the shadows. Humans would fight, humans would endure, and humans would rise. No matter the enemy, no matter the odds. The vanguard floated in the heart of the Omega sector, battered, exhausted, but unbroken. Captain Ilara Voss stood on the bridge, staring into the darkness. Ahead, the massive alien ship loomed like a shadow, silent and terrifying. The energy siphon was still active, draining every ounce of the vanguard's strength. But humans survived by refusing to bow, even when the odds were impossible. "Captain," Lieutenant Eric Dane said, voice tight with tension, "they're preparing a final strike. Full energy discharge aimed directly at us. Shields won't hold." Ilara's jaw tightened. "Then we make it count. Full tactical plan, pulse cannon, shields, evasive maneuvers. And the Omega maneuver." The crew froze for a moment. The Omega maneuver was untested, a desperate strategy designed by Earth's greatest minds. If it failed, the vanguard would be obliterated, and humanity would lose its first real foothold in the galaxy. "Are you sure, Captain?" Cade asked, voice low. Ilara looked at them, eyes blazing with determination. "I'm sure. Humanity survives because we take risks no one else will. This is our chance to turn the galaxy upside down." The crew moved with precision. Shields flared, engines roared, and the pulse cannon hummed, ready to release a wave of energy unlike anything ever fired before. The Omega maneuver required perfect timing. They would dive toward the alien ship, forcing it to absorb the full impact of the pulse cannon while simultaneously using the siphon against itself. Outside, the alien vessel bristled with weapons, its hull shimmering black, seemingly indestructible. Its movement was precise, but humans had something it could never predict: ingenuity, courage, and the will to survive. Ilara gave the order. Now. The vanguard surged forward. Stars stretched into lines of fire outside the viewport as the ship dived straight toward the massive alien vessel. The pulse cannon fired, sending a concentrated wave of energy directly at the enemy. The siphon, feeding off the vanguard's energy, overloaded under the unexpected force. Sparks flew across the hull of the alien ship. Energy cores erupted in blinding flashes. The massive vessel shook violently, unable to withstand the combined assault. Direct hit. Cade shouted, barely able to contain his excitement. It's destabilizing. The alien flagship groaned, shields flickering, weapons misfiring, systems collapsing. The vanguard twisted sharply, executing the Omega maneuver perfectly. The siphon backfired, draining the alien ship of its own energy while the humans remained intact, shielded by precision timing and their pulse cannon's power. For a moment, silence. Then the enemy ship erupted in a cascade of explosions, fragments scattering into the void like falling stars. The Omega maneuver had worked. The galaxy had witnessed something new, humanity's first true victory among the stars. The crew erupted in cheers, relief, and triumph mingling. Eric punched the air, laughing, while Cade shook his head in disbelief. But Ilara remained at the bridge, eyes scanning the dark expanse. Victory was theirs, but she knew this was only the beginning. "Captain," Eric said, voice quieter now. We did it. We survived everything, the ancients, the rogue humans, the siphon, and we won." Ilara nodded, a small, proud smile breaking through her serious expression. "Yes. But remember, humanity didn't just survive. We proved that cleverness, courage, and unity can overcome anything. The galaxy has underestimated humans, and now it knows better." Outside, the stars seemed brighter, the darkness less oppressive. The vanguard glided through space, battered but victorious, a shining symbol of Earth's courage and ingenuity. Suddenly, a faint signal appeared on the sensors. It was a broadcast from countless systems across the galaxy. Alien races, the remnants of fleets, and even distant human colonies watched the events unfold. The message was clear: Earth had arrived. Humanity was not to be ignored. Ilara turned to her crew, pride swelling in her chest. "This is only the first step. The galaxy is vast, full of dangers and wonders. We've faced the impossible and survived. And we will continue to rise, no matter what stands in our way." Cade approached, still shaking his head in awe. "Captain, the galaxy will never be the same after this. Humanity, we've made history." Ilara placed her hand on the console, looking at the stars stretching into the infinite. "We are history. But more than that, we are the future. And the future belongs to those who dare to fight, to endure, and to rise. Humanity has shown it will not be weak, will not bow, and will not stop. Not now, not ever." The vanguard soared onward, leaving trails of light against the blackness of space. Behind it, explosions from the destroyed alien flagship faded, a reminder of what courage, unity, and ingenuity could achieve. Humanity had entered the stars, and the galaxy would tremble for generations to come. And somewhere in the distant void, whispers of new threats stirred, shadows of empires and ancient powers. But the humans aboard the Vanguard knew one unshakable truth: they had faced the impossible, they had survived, and they had won. The galaxy would never forget the arrival of Earth's warship. Captain Ilara Voss stood tall, looking out at the endless stars. The universe was vast, the dangers endless, but humanity would rise.